Welcome, everyone, to the HireMyVA Team and Business Building Podcast, where we help you to reclaim your freedom through hiring and thriving with virtual assistants without breaking the bank. And what that means is it means your bank. I'm Dave Braun, and I'm here with my partner and co-host, my friend. Oh, man, we just got done talking about our business for a while. My mentor and coach. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. Larry, welcome. Larry Broughton.
David Braun.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Man, I am doing fantastic.
Well, listen, I appreciate you so much. I love you. I'm glad you're in my life. Thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow from time to time.
It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. But hey, what you just said, I think is a good reminder for all of us. We need to take time each week to work on our business and not in our business.
Yeah.
We just got done doing that. So
it was good. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well, yeah, without further ado, here's our question for today.
All right.
Why is it necessary for me to take the top 5 CliftonStrengths and the Kolbe A Index assessments? This is what we recommend as part of our program with all of our coaching clients. Right. Part of the question also is, do I really need to have my team do this also?
Yeah, we do talk about this in the prepare section. You don't have to do anything. You don't even need to do this program. Is it the wise thing to do? Yeah, it's the wise thing to do. Dave, let me take just a quick stab, and I'm going to hand it over to you on this. So why do we do it? You know, there's a saying, know thyself, right? And so, yes, I'm a believer that we have to step out of our own mess sometimes and do a little bit of self-analysis. You know, they used to say stare at the navel a little bit, but you got the cognitive brain, you got the conative brain. There's different types of the brain, right? Yeah. What I love about combining the CliftonStrengths, it used to be called Strength Finders 2.0, and it's morphed over the years, in the Kolbe, is that it measures different parts of the brain. The conative brain I'm fascinated with. The conative brain is what, early Stoics used to talk about. Aristotle used to talk about the conative brain. And basically that's how do we respond to stimuli. It doesn't take into effect, there's the affective brain as well, but it doesn't take into effect schooling or job responsibilities. The conative brain is how do we respond, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the great thing about the Kolbe. The Clifton measure takes into a lot of things about, training, skill set, education, all that kind of stuff, right? If we don't know ourselves, and there are a lot of them. Let me back up. We could be taking the DISC. We could be taking Myers-Briggs. There's a lot of assessments. Yeah, octogram, exactly. There's a lot of them out there. The key is this: making sure that we're building a team where our natural strengths and weaknesses are augmented and supported by other team members' strengths and weaknesses. So whatever tools you use, make sure that you're combining them. And also that people that you're hiring, their strengths are supportive of the role that they are in, right? So if I'm looking for somebody who's really creative, I want to make sure that their natural strengths maximize that role. Right? Yeah. I don't need creative people in my accounting department. I need analytical people in my accounting department.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we do this. This is why I think it's pretty important. That's kind of a general overview, but let's dive into this a little bit deeper, Dave.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that you're right, we don't want to create normally mini me's in our business. We don't,
Great point.
we feel so comfortable with ourselves a lot of times. And so we think, if we hire somebody just like me, they'll be able to do all my stuff. Yeah. Well, and they can, but that's probably not going to be what you want on your first hire, right? Maybe at some point you do, but not initially.
Yeah. Now there are, let's say that you're building a business like you have a web business, right? You're going to see a lot of commonality in your business, right? Because there's you need a lot of quick starts. You need a lot of people who are analytics in that. In an organization like mine on the hotel side, there are certain roles that need certain skill sets, right? So you're right. Avoid hiring a bunch of mini-me's. Sometimes you need a mini-me. right?
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do, but you can't have all mini me's, all right? Because otherwise, all the great stuff, maybe all the fun stuff that you enjoy doing will get done, but all those things where you really suck, that stuff's not going to get done, and that's going to catch up with you very quickly.
Yeah. Well, maybe what we can do is talk about a couple examples, right? So
Sure,
let's
that's
talk
fine.
about strength finders, right?
Okay.
One of the things I love, and we've got an interview with Keith Baldwin in
Oh, right.
about strengths. He's a certified strengths finder coach. He's oh my gosh, we just love him. He bought these for us, right? Where he has our top. You guys may not be able to see this if you're listening only, but it just gives my top 5 strengths.
It's a coffee mug, by the way.
My coffee mug.
Yeah.
And it says learner, analytical, intellectual, relator, discipline, right? And so there's certain definitions of those things. But the thing is one of the things he says is you want to embrace your strengths. And when you have a problem or a task or something that you want to do, you want to use your strengths to accomplish it. Mm-hmm. Because even if it may not be a task that you think on the surface is suited to you, you can turn it around and say, I'm going to apply my strengths to it. For example, I mean, I'm so far away from a woo, which is somebody who likes to kind of be out there, right?
Yeah, winning others over, by the way, is what that means.
Yeah, and it's like you're out there and talking to a bunch of people and kind of on the surface and just bringing, having a great time with a lot of people. While I like to do that to a certain extent, it's not a strength, right? And so to do some of those things that a woo requires is, I have to use some of my other strengths, like use my discipline. It's like, okay, I'm going to discipline myself when I go to this party to meet 10 people or something, right?
Sure.
So that's kind of how you want to use some of your strengths to accomplish something. And if you don't know your strengths, then how can you use them?
Exactly. And so let's say, for instance, you're trying to hire a business development person or a salesperson.
Yeah.
You've heard at this point in your life that there are some people who just interview really well, right? Yeah. And you might hire somebody who can show up really well to do the interview. But if you don't know that inherently this salesperson or this business development is a woo who likes to get out there, who likes to engage, who likes to build a relationship, then they're going to be working against their strength for most of their career, and they're going to get burned out on it. Yeah. Right. So that's one area on the Gallup. Another thing is on the Kolbe side. Well, actually, let's finish up on the Gallup, for instance. So I'm kind of an ideas person. I've got a lot of experience in business, between my own personal experience, between interviewing rock star entrepreneurs, between coaching and mentoring people. And I have one of my strengths is I'm strategic. I can see big picture stuff. Mm-hmm. I can make complex ideas simple for people. But when it comes to developing systems for that, like I can talk conceptually about it, but I am not the person to put the systems in place. So how does this work with you and I, Dave, in our business? I have a former partner, business partner, in my former coaching business, and we were like clones, both on the strength finders, or what's now called the CliftonStrengths, and on Kolbe. So we could come up with ideas all day long, but we couldn't get jack squat done because there was nobody implementing or developing systems for it. You and I are built pretty differently, mm-hmm. right? But we share core values, exactly. Right? So that's really key. But like on the Kolbe, I think you're a 7832, right? And I'm not going to go into great detail about like what each of those operating modes mean, mm-hmm. But I'll just tell folks this. There are 4 operating modes in the Kolbe.
Do you want me to share my screen while you're talking about that?
Sure.
Let me do that. I'll pull up my results. I don't mind. And of course, if you are just listening, you won't be able to see it, but we'll describe it to you. So you see Larry, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the 4 action modes are fact finder, follow through, quick start, implementer. And I was right. You're a 7832 on this. Now, I, on the other hand, am a 5293. Okay. So I'm a 5. I'm mid-range. You are also a mid-range, right? But on the follow through, I'm a 2. I don't like systems. You can put systems in place and I still won't use them. I'm resistant to systems. You are an initiating systems person, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
When it comes to ideation and going with my gut, you're an engineer. Show me the facts.
Yeah.
Right? You're resistant to it. I'm a 9. I'll
Mm.
stand at the edge of the building, jump off and build the airplane on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we complement each other. And since you and I have known each other for so many years, when conflict does arise, we're committed to the relationship
Mm-hmm.
and we work through it. Whereas most people, if you have most people, and we share the same core values and everything else, most people, when they have that many points of departure, you're a 3, I'm a 9. Usually if it's 5 or more, there's going to be conflict in that area. We have worked through it over all these years. So that's on the Kolbe side. On the Clifton side, you and Melissa in particular are great on taking my ideas and putting form to them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? So what's great with you guys is that we'll sit down, we'll come up with an idea. You guys will get the systems and ideation, the systems and form to about 80% or 85% or 90%. And then I use my maximizer strengths, which is one of my Clifton strengths, to get it across the finish line, to really take something that's a B+ product into an A+
absolutely
product,
Yeah.
right? So that's how you would use your strengths and the strengths of your team. So can you run your business without doing strengths finders and Kolbe? Yes, of course you can. People do it every day of the week. But I will tell you this, those elite organizations that I've spoken to, like the Chick-fil-A's of the world, this is what you do. You identify what are your strengths and you work with them and you build teams around these, right? It will make your life a whole lot easier if you do. People will find more joy. You will see productivity increase. You will find more freedom in your life. If you don't want that stuff, fine.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But if you want increased productivity, if you want increased morale, if you want more joy in the workplace, if you want more freedom, I encourage you to use the Cliff Finders and the Strength Finders. What did I say? Strength Finders. That's it, whatever. Strength Finders and the Kolbe, and identify what your strengths are and what are the strengths of your team members. Key team members. You don't need to do it for everybody. If you got 500 people in your organization, you don't need to do it for everybody, but certainly key team members you do, I believe.
Yeah. And one of the things that I loved about what you did, Larry, is in your home office when, we were all in offices, you had a little placard outside of everybody's office door that had their strengths and their Kolbe A, and I think you had a couple of other things there as well.
Yeah. So if some people took more, like I had Myers-Briggs, octagram, disc, Enneagram, I had all of them. So why the heck would you do that, Larry? So that people know how to adjust their communication style when they're going to talk to somebody. So it was a reminder. Okay, I'm going into somebody who's high in command, which is one of the strengths in the Clifton Strength Finders. If you have somebody who's high in command, you don't need to go in and tiptoe and dilly-dally around with a piece of news. You go in and you just give them the news and they accept it and they work with it, right? It drives them nuts if I go in and not give them the punchline, like, oh, times are really bad, so we gotta, give them the punchline. They love that and they work with it. It just frustrates them when you don't. So that's why I do it.
Yeah. And so it's important to, well, I'll use it from my perspective, set up a system, set up a system to remind yourself. Maybe it's once a month. Maybe it's before every major team meeting or quarterly meeting or every week. Just take a quick look at your team's strengths and remind yourself, oh, Larry, you're showing your, what was on your wall, right? The placard where you've got, if you guys can't see it, he's got his Kolbe A, he's got his octagram, appreciation languages. Oh, we could talk about that too.
Love language.
Yeah. Myers-Briggs and your CliftonStrengths in order. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think one of the messages is once you do this, because I've seen this in organizations, Larry, where
Mhm.
they do all of this stuff, right? They get it,
They're-
but then they have this, okay, we gotta learn, we gotta use it, etc. But then if they don't review it on a regular basis, it's
uh-huh.
almost like wasting time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that once you're running your business for a while and you start identifying the best practices or what are the personality traits of who are the rock stars in this role in the past? How are they built? Who are the people who we had hired? What were their strengths and that didn't actually do very well? You start to see a pattern,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
In their strengths. But what they say, what's measured is improved. Right? So you got to keep track of it. So yeah, it frustrates me too when people spend all the time and money to do assessments and they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
frustrating.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I guess the overall point is you don't have to do these, of course, but we preach it. We say you want to do it because, like Larry said, you want to have more freedom in your life, more productivity, more enjoyment.
Yeah.
When you're working in your strengths and understand, your modes, your cognitive and all that kind of stuff, then you'll have a lot more fun.
Yep.
And you can come across to the same task and approach it a little bit different way so that it's more enjoyable and you get it done faster and better.
Yeah, we do a webinar on this. I'm just trying to be really breezy about this right now, but we have kind of a very wonkish webinar on this where we go into much more detail instead of the, quick 15,000 foot perspective. We get kind of into the weeds a little bit if you are actually interested in it. If you are interested in it, send us a message. Hey, I would love to see that webinar, and we'll dig it up and send it over.
Okay, perfect. Good idea.
Yeah.
Anything else, sir?
Not for me.
Okay. Well, everybody, we're going to bring this one to a close. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Remember, building a team, and we talked about doing that with the CliftonStrengths Finder assessment, as well as Kolbe A Index. But building a team is the way to reclaim your freedom, and we're here to help you. 3 things we'd love for you to do, and we'd really, really appreciate it. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already done so. And number 2, give us a rating. We'd love 5 stars, but do what you need to do. Leave a comment below this video.
Yes, leave a comment.
Do that. Any comment, and it will help us to get the word out. And then number 3 is go to HireMyVA.com for more information on our course and community. We've got checklists, all that kind of stuff there that you can get for free. Yeah. So remember, even without experience, you'll learn how to prepare for, hire, and thrive with virtual assistants when you are in our course and community. Larry and I have helped a lot of folks. We'd love to help you out too. So just go to HireMyVA.com for more information.
That's right, folks. Do yourself a favor. Do the world a favor. Go do something significant today. All right. So God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. All right, my friends, go get them.
All right. Bye, everybody.